Hello and welcome back, Bargain Hunters. I'm James Romero, and each week we help you to uncover the best eShop deals available in the UK, US, and EU stores. Last week, me and Juan hosted a battle that was a blast. Thanks to all of you for the great comments, and later on, we will announce last week's winner of that $10 eShop voucher. Let us know your pick this week for a chance to win one next week as well. Right, without further ado, let's take a look at the best deals this week. Kicking things off with my pick of the week, it's Hyperlight Drifter. This is a masterpiece set in a glorious neon pixelated world. What I love is how the game manages to portray a deep story without any language, text or voice. What you do know is that your homeworld is invaded and you play as the Drifter, a caped sword wielder who clearly isn't well as you spew blood from time to time. The world setting is fantastic. There are giant dying titans and a shadowy monster lurking. My personal take is that this is a world in the distant future where technology is almost forgotten and old, but the beauty is you will see what your mind interprets. Combat is punishing and Twitch sensitive. The game blends RPG and action gameplay extremely well, and the special edition on the Switch is the definitive version full of small upgrades. It feels perfectly at home on the Switch. Juan, what is your pick this week?
Hey there everyone, Juan Romero here. Thank you very much, James. I know if you've watched the last two bargain videos, the Battle of the Bargains, I'm sure you know by now that I won. I got most of the votes. If you want to see us return and do another Battle of the Bargains, then let us know in the comments section down below. But my pick this week for the best bargain for me is definitely Vampyr. The reasons are it's got 55% off in all regions. It's a very good game indeed. And also it's a horror and it's got vampires in it, which I like very much. It's based in London in 1918, and you're a newly turned vampire, Dr. Jonathan Reed. And as a doctor, you must find a cure to save the city's flu-ravaged citizens. But of course, this causes a huge conundrum, because as a vampire, you've got to feed on these people that you vow to heal in the first place. And to survive, you've got to fight against vampire hunters, undead scours, and other supernatural creatures. And of course, you've got to be the vampire, and you've got to feed to survive. So this is right up my street, and we had a fantastic time with it. In fact, James actually reviewed this game on the channel, and if you want to check out more information, then hit the link on the top right-hand corner. Ladies and gentlemen, see you next week. Take care.
Oh, that's a great pick there, Juan. I did love that game when I reviewed it. It's very, very enjoyable. Up next, it's Donut County. This is a neat little game which we enjoyed very much and certainly does not outstay its welcome. Here we have a story about BK the raccoon, who is one of many raccoons that have taken over Donut County with remote-controlled trash-stealing holes. Why do they do this? Well, it is to earn prizes, of course. One day, as BK falls into one of his own holes and is confronted by his friends, they demand to know what the crack is. If you like physics games, then this is for you. It also has a bit of puzzle thrown in for good measure as well as exploration. It's a great little game to play and can be completed in a nice afternoon. If you like a good narrative game, then What Remains of Edith Finch is for you. You need to figure out why Edith Finch is the last of her family left alive. Each story you find in the house lets you experience the story of that family member right up until their death. Certainly a very interesting game. At 60% off, it is worth a shot now that it's a bit cheaper. Gorogoa is a critically acclaimed puzzle game from developers Buried Signal. It's beautiful, imaginative, and often cited as a work of art. It was originally $15, which was always a bit of a stretch for many due to the short 2-hour runtime. But now with 60% off at $5.99 in the US, that is a very good value for your money. If you were on the fence originally, then now is the time to strike. Ashen is a wonderful Dark Souls-inspired title that evokes that same feeling you get when you first booted up Dark Souls, but has its own style and story. The graphics are superb, combining simplicity and detail in a brilliant way. The soundtrack is spot on as well, with gloomy, expanding tracks. Unlike most similar games, there is a sense of partnerships and community. You'll be accompanied by a companion who is very useful. The lore, lands and style are all great, but combat is where this game really shines. The AI is excellent and the controls are sharp. You cannot go wrong picking this one up. This is a pop album video game. If you like dreamy stuff, then this is for you. Sayonara Wild Hearts features riding motorcycles, skateboarding, dance battling, sword wielding, and all sorts of other stuff whilst going 200 miles per hour. I do really love the neon art style here. This one is a bit on the different side, but it's worth checking out, especially at this price. The Disgaea series produces bonkers, deeply strategic turn-based games with RPG elements, and Disgaea 5 doesn't veer from that formula at all. This game has been out for a couple of years now, and I remember thoroughly enjoying it when I reviewed it back then. It is a menu lover's dream, full of systems upon systems. Its cast is quirky and it feels like reading a manga or watching an anime during the story elements. It didn't have much competition in the genre when this was released, but it still holds up today as a brilliant title, though it's not going to be for everyone. Florence started life on mobiles to well-deserved critical acclaim, so it's a natural fit on the Switch with its touchscreen capabilities. A beautifully hand-drawn comic-style tale that unfolds as a mixed light gameplay and immersive story. You play as Florence, a woman in her 20s stuck in a dull routine when she suddenly gets drawn in by some fabulous music, meets Krish, and what follows is a charming interactive rom-com. Interestingly, there is no actual dialogue, but the story is so well laid out and relatable that you never struggle to understand what's going on. The game's score is superb, and the only downside is the really short sub 1 hour runtime, something that is negated with a nice 50% off sale. This is a haunting double pack which includes the Night Alone and Midnight Shadows Yomawari games. The story involves a young girl walking her pet dog, but an unfortunate accident befalls the pet. As a number of events take place, the girl goes back to town to find her dog and sister, only to find that the town has become a nightmare in the dark. Finding clues is the name of the game to solve these mysteries. Flipping Death's premise is basically that of the wonderful Terry Pratchett Discworld book Mort. After dying, your character Penny is mistaken by Death as her temporary replacement while he swans off on a well-deserved break. It makes for a great story. Gameplay-wise, it's similar to Stick It to the Man with its quirky style and mechanics that have you meddling with the locals by possessing them. Whilst it has a bit of platforming, this is mostly a point-and-click adventure game with a great story and bags of character. Little Inferno is one of those peculiar games that doesn't quite fit the norms we expect of a game. Essentially, it's a fireplace simulator in which you burn items. Doing so in a particular order has interesting results. It sounds pretty boring, but it's actually weirdly engrossing and surprisingly deep. The visuals will be familiar if you've played Human Resource Machine or World of Goo, having been made by the same developers. A change of gears, this one. NIS have brought us lots of interesting twists to the RPG genre, and in Penny Punching Princess we have beat-em-up mechanics combined with deep RPG classic systems, and a quirk where everything revolves around money. It looks and sounds great, has a bonkers stories, and we would expect nothing less from these guys. And it has countless hours of punishing gameplay to enjoy. Now this is one of the games that's sadly not on sale in all regions, but do check out our link in the description below for our article on the website to how you can set up accounts in other regions if you're interested. Rive is a platforming and shoot 'em up in the twin-stick 2D style. I'm a massive fan of this type of arcade pick-up-and-play game, and this one is one of the best. Be warned, it's on the hardcore side of things though. It will often have you nearly throwing your Switch across the room, but with a whopping 90% off, you can't beat this ridiculous price. This is one of those games that needs no introduction. XCOM 2 is one of the best strategy games ever in my opinion, so I was very happy to get my hands on it, and it doesn't disappoint. This is a tactical, turn-based sci-fi epic that sees you fighting off aliens that overtook our home planet in the first title. The countless options, story, and challenging gameplay makes this a must-have. It only has 20% off, but it's worth it given the countless hours and replayability here. Masters of Anima is an interesting indie game, a real-time strategy adventure game that feels a lot like Pikmin as you control your minions known as Guardians to attack giant bosses as well as solve environmental puzzles. We quite enjoyed reviewing this one, and looking back, it really is a unique game, especially with the lack of Pikmin around on the Switch. If you're looking for a local competitive game to stick on when a friend rocks up, look no further. Nidhogg 2 is a mad tug-of-war meets fighter-style game that has you pitting your skills against a buddy in thrilling matches. It's even better if you get a few friends together and pass the controllers around tournament style. You need to get across a number of screens before your opponent does the same to you, but along the way, one hit equals death. It's colourful, it has banging tunes, and whilst it doesn't offer variety, the core gameplay is a blast. There is single player and online on offer as well, but both are a letdown, so skip this if that's how you want to play. For local multiplayer though, go ahead and grab this little gem. Assassin's Creed 3 on the Nintendo Switch is the remastered version with a few small lifestyle tweaks. It's not everyone's favourite, but I thoroughly enjoyed it when I reviewed it, which you could check out by clicking at the top right hand corner. It introduces some new mechanics and characters, and it's good to have this available on the Switch. In Mark of the Ninja, you'll truly know what it is to be a ninja. You must be silent, agile, and clever to outwit your opponents in a world of gorgeous scenery and flowing animation. Marked with cursed tattoos giving you heightened senses, every situation presents you with options. This is a truly excellent stealth game with puzzle elements and great stealth mechanics. It looks great and is best enjoyed with the volume turned up so you can sneak around and remain unseen. You want to be a hero and save the princess. Off you go and you die. Oops. Then you succeed and try again in your quest to find all 100 different endings. It's a simple game that pokes fun at Zelda and others, but don't let that fool you. It's addictive. Each time you play and die and come back, your character or something has changed, giving you a sense of progression. You might try going somewhere else and find a new item that unlocks a new area somewhere else, and so on. The pixel art won't be for everyone, but it suits this retro-inspired title, and the soundtrack is solid as well. A real bargain at this low price point. And there you have it, folks. Some great bargains, I'm sure you'll agree. Let us know what your pick of the week is down below for a chance to win a $10 eShop voucher. Thanks very much for hanging out with us today. Last week's winner is the infamous JRAD. Well, congratulations to you. Email us at contact@switchwatch.co.uk and we'll get you that voucher. I'll see you again soon, everyone. Be sure to check back in tomorrow for Jordan's awesome physicals roundup. Take care. See you soon.